Welcome back to the Blue Blasterbot channel, where we decided to make talking about a virgin with Rage's webcomic from 20 years ago into a regular thing. Last time we learned how Sonichu came to be through a complete disregard for physics, logic, biology, and basically every other form of science there is. And we are continuing with Sonichu issue 1. Yeah, for some reason Chris decided to start from issue 0 for some reason, so if you missed that video, be sure to check the link in the description for the previous part. Anyway, let's get into it. Episode 4, Black Sonichu in Darkness, Speed, and Lightning with an accidental dose of cherry cola. We begin with Natesurk, who is revealed to be Giovanni's son, and giving him Sonichu's DNA, so he and Dr. Robotnik, who can't keep his mouth closed for some reason, can make a Sonichu of their own. Where's Silver, Giovanni's son?
Shut up!
I guess it doesn't matter. So Bill, you know, the inventor of the Pokemon storage system and the time capsule and the man who managed to turn himself into a Pokemon, the guy who gives you a ticket to the SS Anne, yeah, apparently he works for Team Rocket now, roll with it. Bill is told to put a sample into the machine, and the dumbass spills cherry cola into the sample. And rather than requesting another sample, cleaning it, or doing literally anything to ensure a pure DNA sample, you know, what you would do if you managed to spill cherry cola into a DNA sample, he just puts it in anyway, trying to make a Pokemon clone because that worked so well the first time.
We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon. And we succeeded.
The cherry cola somehow results in the Sonichu clone coming out black and red. Chris, rather than going with the obvious answer and calling him Shadowchew, decides to have Natesurk call him, Okay, I want it to be known right now that this is what Chris actually wrote in the book. Christian Weston Chandler named this evil clone of Sonichu Black Sonichu. I'm just as disgusted as you are, so I'm just going to call him Shadowchew because the actual Shadow the Hedgehog never really appears in the book. In fact, I don't think anyone in the Sonic cast besides Sonic and Eggman are in these books. Not Knuckles, not Tails. I think Amy appears at the end of this one, but I could be wrong, let's see. So after being given Shadow's air shoes, a training montage begins, and then we're shown a side-by-side comparison of Sonichu and Shadowchew. Shadowchew is then sent on his mission to jump Sonichu, and the episode ends with the same ad from the last issue for Sonichu Advance. Fuck that game. Episode 5, Sonichu in Informal Mithreading. So this next plan is incredibly simple. Shadowchew captures Rosechew and leads Sonichu to their base. Why he couldn't just capture them both or lead Sonichu so Rosechew would have to get up off her lazy ass and actually do something, I don't know. So Shadowchew jumps out of the bushes and snatches Rosechew, somehow causing Sonic and Sonichu to collide with one another. Chris does the Spider-Man meme, and then we get to this page, which is
Unacceptable! Unacceptable! Unacceptable!
Okay, this page pisses me off, not only because half the panels are taken up by just walls of text, but the bottom half is just Chris virtue signaling for autism awareness. Sounds great, right? There's literally no other point to this, other than to advertise Chris's website and to virtue signal. This page pissed me off so much that I had to edit it. Here you go. The episode then concludes with an ad for Sonichu cards for the Pokemon TCGs. I hope anybody who tries using these cards in official tournaments gets kicked the fuck out. Episode 6, Sonic and Sonichu in Black Metal Combat. Okay, so Rosechu's trapped in a rubber-coated cage. Robotnik and Christian spelled backwards go over their plan again, which relies on so many contrivances it could only exist in a comic like this. Hell, I imagine if you pitched this to Scratch and Grounder or Jesse and James, they'd tell you to piss off before coming up with a better plan somehow. Robotnik sings and dances for some reason, and Chris breaks the fourth wall just for the sake of laughing at our villain for the evening. Because you gotta remember, Chris thinks you're stupid enough to actually root for the villain, so Chris has to humiliate him further because he gets his notes from a future Ryan Johnson. Sonic decides to stay behind his backup, something he would never do, so Sonichu can go in before him. Sonichu and Shadowchu fight, and Sonichu somehow falls for Robotnik's contrived trap. Sonic then bursts in, recites the same stupid joke they made in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 movie.
Hey, you were expecting maybe the Addams Family? Good one.
Robotnik somehow has a Metal Sonichu built, and Robotnik must have been working on a budget because had it been Metal Sonic, it would be GG's for Chris's OCs. Sonic insults Metal Sonichu by calling him, Metimon. Yeah, that. And Sonic and Sonichu then use a Zap Cannonball to launch Metal Sonichu through a wall, which somehow uses a mountain to curve upward and sent into space, waiting for Robotnik to piss on it. Sonichu then spin dashes and saves Rosechu, and Rosechu punches Shadowchu's teeth out because Shadowchu's just standing there, Rosechu's abusive and also racist. In the epilogue, Amy Rose and Rosechu meet up and we get another unacceptable! Yeah. Panel so egregious I'm not even gonna bother editing it. Good thing too, because Chris just shows up to show how progressive he is by man-interrupting them and cutting their conversation short. Also, I want to point out that Rosechu's a mutated Raichu, which should mean she's stronger than Sonichu since he's a mutated Pikachu. So Rosechu should have been able to break the cage herself. Then again, that's just how progressive Chris is. And that about does it, aside from the sub-episode reprinted in issue 4, which we'll get into in issue 4. So sit tight for that. God bless, Godspeed, and stay frosty out there.